Hi guys, Daz here with another new series. This time I'm going to be showcasing the initial orders and estimated print runs for each month. And this time we're going to start with September. And a shout out to Brian Springman over at Comic Book Speculation Facts for putting this list together. So here are the initial orders, estimated print runs for September 2018 and 38 of the highlights below. Now, as it goes with print runs, obviously the higher the print run, generally is the case that your book is not going to be increasing in value. So the lower the print run, often the case, not always, but often the case that the book is going to be deemed more valuable. Okay, so what have we got? Heroes in Crisis from DC. Now that had unbelievably 140,699 printed books, of which Francesca Matina's 1 in 200, you know, the Harley cover, well, that variant had 700 copies or less. Now, the book that annoys me, it's all about the Batawang, Batman Damned, #1, had 2 covers, and the print run for that was 95,483. So it's less than what people thought, because I think initially people were speculating 116,000. Thanos Legacy, 92,143, of which the Esed Ribic 1 in 50 variant, there are 1,840 copies, and the George Perez 1 in 100 had 920 copies or less. Justice League 8. Now I'm interested in this one because I recently picked up the Jim Lee sketch variant for £4. One of my best ever stealth buys. Well, the Justice League 8 had 3 covers, and there were 76,360 copies of that book initially, of which the Jim Lee 1 in 100 variant that I found for £4, there are 760 copies or less. So I'm happy with that. Of course, there was the Jim Lee cover B colour variant as well, wasn't there? Coming in 5, Spider-Geddon 0. That was the first appearance of the PS4 Spider-Man. 74,507, of which the Julian Totino Tedesco 1 in 50 came in at 1,490. Avengers 7. I didn't pick this one up. I didn't see a lot of spec in it, but that was the origin of the 1 million BC Ghost Rider. 65,815. Now, the Eve Aventru 1 in 10 variant, there were 6,580 copies or less. And the Clayton Crane, there was the 1 in 50, there were 1,300 copies or less. Moving on with number 7 on the list. Stranger Things. There were 4 covers for Stranger Things, and that was a 60,139 print run. Catwoman 3. Of course, Archer made the stunning B variant. 2 covers split, and there is a print run of 55,068 copies of that. Cosmic Ghost Rider, issue 3, which was the first full appearance of Juggerduck. There were 44,428 copies of that book, of which the 1 in 25 Declan Shelby variant had 1,775 copies. Coming in at 10, Edge of Spider-Geddon 4. And that was the first appearance of Osborn as the new Spider villain. That had 2 covers, and that had a print run of 32,038. Now I think when you get below 25,000, that's when you're starting to get into the money. Edge of Spider-Geddon 3. This was the first appearance of Uncle Ben as a spider hero. I had both of those Spider-Geddon books. That had 32,019. That was split between 2 covers. Aquaman 40. Of course, my man Middleton's been doing the B covers. 31,010. That was split. Now, The Life of Captain Marvel, issue 3, of which there was Joe Quesada 1 in 100 variant. Initially there was 29,047 of that book, of which the 1 in 100 variant, there were just 290 copies. Batgirl 27. So the print runs are coming down again a little bit for the Middleton covers. 2 cover split, 28,843. Now a book I picked up recently, and it's doing very well on the aftermarket, was Star Wars Dr. Alpha issue 24. And that was the Rod Roy's Galactic Icon Boba Fett, cover B. Well, that had a print run of 27,329, so that could be a good book going forward. Like I said, around 25,000, you're doing well. Bully Wars, there were 5 covers for issue 1. That was 27,134. That's more than I thought. Red Hood and the Outlaws, 26. Of course, there were 2 covers. Of course, Yasmin Putri has been doing cover Bs, and they have been stunning. That is a print run of 24,688. Mr. and Mrs. X, number 3, a book I picked up. That was the first appearance of Exandra, who was Professor X's daughter. There were 24,250 copies of that, and there was a 1 in 25 at 970 copies. I find this really fascinating. Cemetery Beach. I think it was an Image title recently, wasn't it? There were 3 covers to that, 22,094. A book I picked up recently, beautiful cover, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 31. There was a 20,881 copies of that book made, of which the Mikhail Micardo variant, which was that stunner, because it was the first Solar Ranger, and the Joanna Lafonte 1 in 25 variant had 835 copies. So that's a small print run. But the Mikhail Micardo, that was a stunning cover. 20,881. Moving on, Unnatural 3. I ordered this, but I still haven't received it. I ordered the naughty copy. I have 4 covers. The censored covers included, there was 18,204. Number 22 on the list, Star Wars The Last Jedi adaptation, number 6. 16,674, of which the Mike Mayhew 1 in 25 variant had 665 copies or less. Border Town. I was looking for the cover B on this one, which was a Yogi Jimenez cover B. I couldn't find it, but that had a print run of 15,259. We're getting to 10,000 now. This is where it's getting really good. Man-Eaters, number 1. The cover A was quite hot on that. 10,390 copies. Venom 3. I picked this one up. This is the 3rd printing. This is good. 9,765. The first appearance of Null. I think he was on the cover on that one. Weatherman. I picked up issue 1, but I haven't picked up more than that. And Weatherman 4 had 8,381. And there was a Bengal 1 in 25 that had just 335 copies or less. Now Man-Eaters 1 again comes in at 27. And there was a Glitter cover B. 8,226. Number 28, a book that I can never find over here in the UK. DuckTales, issue 12. 5,966 copies. And there was a 1 in 10 variant at 595 copies or less. Excuse the helicopter flying overboard. 29, Low Road West, 5,326. There was a David Lafuti 1 in 15 variant at 355 copies or less. A book, a stunning cover. Delighted to have it in my collection. One of my favourite independent titles. Elric the White Wolf, issue 1. There were 3 covers to that. Just a print run of 5,272. That is going to be an epic book going forward. Over the Garden Wall, Hollowtown, a book I've never heard of. 4,354, of which there was a Mikhail Micardo 1 in 10 variant at 435 or less. Moving on to the last 7 comics on the list. Uncle Scrooge, My First Millions. 4,000 478. And that had a Marco Mazzarello 1 in 10 variant at 405 copies or less. Number 34. A book I saw but didn't pick up, Fearscape, issue 1. There were 2 covers. I think there was a nice white cover to that book. Just 2,671. A book I looked for but couldn't find, in at 35. Junior High Horrors, issue 1. There were 4 covers. 2,147. And there was a 1 in 5 variant, which you don't get very often, at 425 copies or less. Number 36 on the list. Friendo, issue 1. 2 covers, just 1,960. A book I have been desperate to find, comes in at 37. I've had no joy in my hunts. And that is Rags, number 1. I think it's like that zombie sort of book with a woman on the cover. 1,805. So you're going to do very well to find Rags. Hence that why the book is so hot. And the lowest print run, I should have picked this up. I was actually looking at this in the comic shop. And this was House of Waxworks 2, which included a Donny Cates story, and that was just 977. So I just find that really fascinating. It's just a short video to tell you how many copies of each book there was for the month of September. I'll be back with another one next month. That's Dazzie, over and out. Take care for now. Bye bye.